Hi, Merch Money. We are back again, only 30 minutes later. Today we have Samir Farsane with us. Thank you so much for being here, Samir.
Oh, you're very welcome. It's my pleasure to be here.
You had quite the fans. When I did the post, so many people were so excited for you to be on the show. So
I am excited to see everyone. I hope everyone can join in. I posted my group and I hope that everyone can make it. It will be great, and we will do our best to give them the most accurate and helpful information that we can.
oh, perfect. Festive countdown is saying feels like Christmas, 2 live streams in one day. And thank you so much to everybody in the chat. I'm going to apologize in advance. I usually have to concentrate and pay attention to the guests, so I have a hard time also paying attention to the chat. So I'll do my best, but I'm sure things are going to. Anyway, thank you all for being here. Christina wanted to be here, but she had a small, I don't know if she called it surgery or procedure, or there was a small thing she had today. So she said everything went well. She's doing great, but she is just recovering today. So she probably, knowing her, will be back tomorrow, even though I'm sure she should probably rest longer than that. But anyway, she said to tell everybody she misses you guys. So anyway, well, Samir has been in all the Facebook groups for a long time, always helping newbies, always helping everybody. So I was really excited that he said yes to coming on this show, because I would love to hear more about Samir, and I'm sure everybody else would too. So tell us, Samir, just a little bit about like your background. How did you find out about merch? How did you become an entrepreneur?
It's funny because I was doing FBA. I was selling different things. I started like a lot of people with books,
Yep.
and then it got a little over the edge, and it was a little bit too much work for little money. And I wouldn't say little money, but it was decent money. It was just too much work for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started doing retail arbitrage, a little bit of online arbitrage, not too much. And I was following some people that were doing FBA as well. And I liked the channel of this girl. I just liked how she was a true hustler. She was young. I think she was like 21 or 22 at the time, and she all her income came from online streams. And
Nice.
I really appreciated that because usually at that age, people are right out of college thinking about getting a job, an 8 to 5 or a 9 to 5, or and
Mm-hmm.
she wasn't that way. She had so many different revenue streams, and I really loved what she was doing, and I was following her. And then she started talking about merch by Amazon,
Awesome.
and I said, "Oh wow, this is cool. That this looks like a better opportunity even than FBA because FBA can get a little bit stressful, and
Mm-hmm.
merch by Amazon it's different because you can actually do something that you would enjoy doing, designing and creating things,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, and it feels better when somebody buys a product from you. It's different than somebody buys your baby. That's your design. It's a design that you
Right.
made yourself, and somebody is wearing it somewhere around the map, and that just felt special. So I fell in love with merch right then, and I started my journey. Then I had a little hiccup at start. I had some family issues and stuff, so kind of stalled me a little bit. And then like a lot of people, they we had that awakening moment where you see like, wow, I haven't logged into this thing for a while, and things are selling.
Mm-hmm.
So then I started uploading some more designs, and I took it from there.
Perfect. Well, feel free to shout out the person that got you into merch, because if she has
Oh,
a YouTube channel, she probably
yes,
doesn't care.
her name is she goes by Hella Bella.
Oh, Bella Bella. I think I know her.
Hella, it's Hella Bella. Yes,
Hella Bella. Okay. I
yes,
think I have seen her channel before.
yes. She's really great because she does so many different things, and uh, she documents her whole journey. Like
Hmm.
recently, like last year, she decided she wanted to do real estate.
I was going
So
to say, I'm like, I think I saw a real estate video from her.
Yeah, so that
She
was
was going to
amazing.
do a flip or something, right? Wasn't it?
Yes, and she
I
bought her
think.
first home to flip, and all from books money and the different money that she made online.
That's so
She
great.
shares everything to the penny. I mean, sometimes she even shares too much. Uh, I mean, sometimes I enjoy watching it. Sometimes I just wonder, like, wow, she's too open with the public. Like, she would even talk
Yeah.
about things like personal, like taxes and this and that. And we're like, oh, you don't know who's watching. But
Yeah.
she's not that way. She's just too open, and I like that. So
Oh,
it kind of, and also th- her attitude kind of triggered me to want to do the same thing, to uh, somehow try to pay it forward like she did, and try to help others along the way anytime that I can. And here I am.
perfect. Well, Fiznik, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Said 14 watching and 3 likes. Where's the thumbs up? So yes, everybody gives Samir a thumbs up, and it is actually more than 14 because we're streaming in several different places. So it's I love StreamYard. It's so awesome that it gets to be the Facebook group, Facebook page, YouTube, and my parents are watching. So thank you to my mom and dad. And we got Teresa, we've got Angie, we've got Laura. Festive Countdown is watching again. They watched the last show. Musette's here. Everybody. So thank you guys. So, and that reminded me about Halabella. I got to reach out to her and introduce myself. Maybe we can get her on the show sometime.
Yeah, that would be great. I don't think she ever did any live interviews, and I think it would be great to bring her in because
Yeah.
she's just an inspiration at her age for young people that are
So,
trying
thank you
to
guys.
make money online.
So, Mario said he did 2 thumbs up. Thank you, Mario. All right, so you started doing merch. You started to see things sell even when you weren't uploading. That's a great feeling. It's going to be especially great, years from now if we ever slow down with uploading, to just have sales coming in whether you do anything or not. So tell me a little bit about your background. Did you already know how to do graphic design, or was it something completely new?
Well, this is a joke that I say, and I hope that this will inspire some people because when I first started merch, if I opened up Photoshop, I knew a little bit about GIMP and some other things because I was messing around back in the days when they had Woot and you submitted designs and stuff for their competition. You could win $100 if your design get accepted and stuff.
Oh, neat.
And so I said, if I opened up Photoshop, I couldn't tell you if it's a male or a female. I had no idea what I was doing. And this is not to stop anyone. And I will tell you that most of what I learned it from YouTube. So that didn't stop me. I learned everything that I could. And fast forward to now, I would say that I make designs that are better than 95% of the so-called designers out there that are charging people money for their designs. It's just, and also I combine that with, I have some artistic skills. I used to draw. I used to do portraits. So I have some artistic skills, and I have an artistic eye, and I can tell what looks good. So I believe so. So that helps me. Once I learned the in and outs of Photoshop, I didn't have a hard time diving in and letting my creative juices go to work, and it's working. I'm happy with it.
That's amazing. Did you have a job before that had to do with graphic design or art, or was it totally different?
No, not at all. I was a chef for 15 years.
Oh wow, that's neat.
I consider that to be an art too because I love cooking, and I left it recently, and I'm very good at what I do. And I consider that an art, and
wow.
And so now I'm like trying to express myself in a different way on T-shirts and hoodies. And,
amazing! I love it. And you can always add it back in at some point if you want to. There's so many different ways to express creativity and so many different things you can do. So amazing. Well, so how did you start getting into all the groups? Did you join right away, or did you tell us your whole story, how you got into this whole world, how you started giving advice to newbies?
So what happened, to be honest, is when I first joined Merch by Amazon. I mean, after the awakening, that's when I started following the groups and the videos and stuff. When I saw on YouTube, I found RJ Martinez,
Mm-hmm.
And he was always energetic and excited, and it's really good to run into somebody like that who's got that energy and that excitement and willing to share their numbers and stuff. So that really inspired me and inspired a lot of people too that are watching, or people that are not watching, people that are doing Merch by Amazon.
Uh-huh.
If you run into positive people, it's going to impact you positively. If you run into negative people, it's going to impact you negatively. And
Right.
then so I joined his group first, then I joined the big Merch by Amazon group, then the
Mhm.
Merch Momentum, and I started joining the group one at a time, and
Yeah.
started meeting people, started knowing people, and answering questions. I figured, I mean, it's joining the groups. It's a two-way street. It's not just about picking up information from other people. I tried to help anytime that I could,
Mm-hmm.
any tips that I could, and I guess that helped, made me a few friends in the groups, and here I am.
Amazing. I love it. And you really have helped a lot of people. So I just want to thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really nice when people in the group, just like you said, like instead of just being there watching, they're participating and
Thank you. And
answering questions.
I wouldn't have helped half the people you have helped, because everybody loves your contributions, your channels, your videos, the way you bring guests, all the information you put in every week. It's amazing. It's really amazing. That's really inspiring. That tells you to keep going.
Oh, thank you so much. It's so fun for me. It's
You and Christina, I feel bad that she's not feeling well, and I hope that she feels well soon.
she's a really strong person. She definitely has things sometimes, and nobody would ever know because she's always so positive and so energetic and everything. So, but she'll be back next week. She'll be fine. But yeah, we have some amazing people in this community for sure. So I'm trying to think how, like, what made you want to help everyone? Did you struggle when you first started, and so you want to help people who are struggling, or is it just that you're just compassionate?
I'm not going to. I'm sorry. I'm not going to dive into this point a lot, but I'm just going to say it so it's clear out there. Part of it is my fate, and it's because I believe that my fortune is already decided. So telling others how to do something is not going to take away from my fortune. Like, even if you see what I'm saying.
Yeah, I like that.
So I believe that. So I never feel like if I tell somebody about some niche or about some trend or about something, that it's going to take away from my fortune. So I don't have that prejudice or that ideal in my mind that's going to stop me from helping people. And the other thing is that other people helped me when I started.
Mm-hmm.
And I just believe in I mean, we're on this rock and we should try to do some good. Well, we're on top of it before we're laid down underneath. So it's a good feeling. I mean, you sleep better at night when you know that you've helped others, like others helped you, and it encouraged others to do the same thing too, which is good. It's contagious.
Yes. And I know you're inspiring people right now, because I think there'll be a whole new wave of people willing to be on this show with your example. Because many people, well, not many people, but there's quite a few people that help within the groups. And I'm trying to get more of them to come on the show. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. It takes some getting used to. Like, it's kind of hard. I think people sometimes feel like they don't know enough to be on the show or something like that. But I'm trying to let everybody know, like, we're all helping each other, and you do know enough to be
Yes,
on this show. So
definitely.
anyway, thank you for saying yes. You didn't even hesitate. You're like, yes, I'll
Oh,
be
you're
on the
welcome.
show.
I love your channel. I love your show. I listen to it a lot. And funny enough, it's probably a bad habit, but every night I fall asleep with one earphone in my ear and I listen to something. And a lot of times I would fall asleep listening to the Merge Money show.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing if we put you to sleep, but I'll take
No,
it.
no. I just keep watching until my eyes get tired. I can fall asleep to a boxing game.
Well, thank you for listening to this show. So, all right. So we decided to pick the topic of newbie mistakes because you have helped so many people in all the groups. So what is one mistake that you see a lot of people make, or just a question that a lot of people ask?
Well, I mean, to a little bit to introduce the reason I wanted to talk about this topic is because it seems that when people are having problems when they're first starting, they seek information from a group of 20, 40, 70,000 people, and they get conflicting
Yes.
Comments. And the funny thing is that a lot of times all those answers are the correct answers. Just not all those correct answers apply to you in tier 10 with what you know and how you design. Like, to give an example, if I take my AMS strategy and give it to someone who designs differently than I do, let's just say designs poor designs, and he goes and he applies that strategy with that budget, and it doesn't work for him, then he's going to think that I misled him.
Right.
And it's not true. It's just it's the correct answer, but it does not apply to you. So it will help if people know what are these mistakes and what does apply to them, and how can they actually apply it to make it work for them. So one of the things is different strategies for different tiers. So when people ask for a strategy, they never ask for, I mean, rarely would they get answers are going to be specific to a certain tier. So if you apply some strategies that some successful sellers are doing to your tier 10 or tier 25, you're going to be listening to crickets for a long time. So what I tell people so let's find the remedy. So I'm not only talking about the problems.
Yeah.
I strongly believe that if you're just studying Emerged by Amazon, you're going to go after the trends. You have 10 tier, a 10 tier, or a 25 tier, or a 100 tier. It's easy for you to upload 100 designs, and you can wipe all 100 and start over again, and it's not a problem. So you go after a trend, and then after the trend is over, if you scored some sales, scored some winners, great. If you didn't, you don't give up. You go after the next trend, and you keep doing this. The reason why is because there is a lot more sales than in trends than in evergreens. It's rarely you ever find an evergreen in a 1000 BSR. So there is a lot more money and a lot more searches for the trends than there are for evergreens. So now it gets us to this point, which would be the second mistake. So you're in tier 10, and you uploaded to Mardi Gras, and Mardi Gras is over, or uploaded to Black History Month, and Black History Month is over. Out of your 10 slots, 2 shirts sold. And let me take back that Black History Month, because those can be evergreen. But for some, but like for example, for Mardi Gras or for Valentine's Day, those are like very niche specific, and they're going to hibernate for a year.
Yeah.
Now you're in tier 10, and you have 2 shirts that sold for Valentine's Day. Now, if you keep those shirts live because they sold, because people feel like, oh, that shirt is special, it's sold. You're going to try now to tier up with 80% of your capacity, because you have 2 shirts that are dead weight in your tier 10 account. My advice, unless that shirt sold 100 times, and it really scored some love and got memorized in the Amazon algorithm.
And if it did so that many times, you've already teared up, so you don't have to
Yes.
worry about it.
Yes. So delete it, delete everything, and use all your capacity, 100% of your capacity into the next trend, and rinse and repeat. So this is the solution to the second problem. The other thing that I feel like beginners are facing is that I see this in the groups a lot. I see a lot of people who talk about how they've been a designer for 25 years, or for this and that, and they're having a hard time selling on Amazon. Being a designer is not being an Amazon seller or an entrepreneur or something. You're a designer. For example, if you're a bricklayer, you can build homes,
right?
But you're not an entrepreneur. You cannot sell those homes. You cannot market those homes. You cannot talk to the customers. You cannot find those customers. You cannot conference. You cannot do everything else that an entrepreneur that sells homes knows how to do. So this is the problem. So what's the remedy in this case? The remedy in this case is instead of wondering and thinking, because a lot of times they would remedy to some things that are not true. They would say, oh, maybe Amazon is not ready for my art. Maybe I need to tone it down and design a Chihuahua with a bone and I don't know, best dog dad ever or whatever. No, you don't need to tone it down. You just need to learn the other part of the trade that you're not familiar with. You need to learn how to advertise if you're doing AMS. You need to learn how to keyword your listings so you can have a good SEO in the Amazon algorithm. You can learn how to use social media to promote your freshly started brand. You can learn how to find what are the trending topics that you can design for those amazing illustrations that you can make. It wouldn't help if you make an amazing illustration, but for a topic that is not trending.
Right.
So there are all these other things that you're not aware of, and that's what's stopping you from selling. It's not the fact that you're a designer on Amazon is not ready for your art. So that's one thing, and I guess
I love that.
Yeah.
I just want to comment on that before we go on to a new mistake. I think it's important to always just be open to learning, because I think sometimes if you really have been to design school and you've had a whole career as a designer, it's harder to be able to think that you still need to learn, and I think sometimes that's one of the reasons I like doing this show so much, is that I force myself to keep learning each week from a new person, 2 new people each week at least, because something that I don't know, or someone knows something that I don't know. And I don't want to get to the point where I'm like, oh, I've been doing merch for however many years, like I already know how to do everything. It's like, no, you keep learning. So even if you are a professional designer, you can keep learning. Like you said, you could learn new things, like new social media, new whatever, but you could also learn, like, maybe there is some new design trend that you have overlooked, or maybe there is some new thing. So I think just being open to learning always.
Yes, definitely. And I mean, just if that would help prove the point, if there are 2 friends that graduated out of a graphic design school, and one of them also has a minor in marketing, the other one is going to have the edge.
Yes.
Well, if you're the guy without the minor in marketing, maybe you can spend some time. And the funny thing now, it's different than me growing up. I don't know if you were before the internet era, but we had to dig for every little bit that we need to learn. Now on the internet, I mean, you don't even need to own a computer. You can learn so many things just on your smartphone. You can learn just ask Google, ask YouTube. And
that's one of the problems of knowing, because when you know something, you feel like you don't need to ask Google. And that's the trap so many people fall into, is they're like, well, I already know. Like, it's not like math where it's like if you know 2 + 2 is 4, it's still going to be the same thing tomorrow. Like most things keep changing and keep evolving. So just because you knew how to do something 5 years ago, it might be different now.
Exactly.
And even if you did have a minor in marketing, marketing is different every year. There's whole new platforms coming out, like TikTok, whole new thing that so many people just totally overlooked. And then the people who didn't overlook it, have done so well.
Yes, definitely. And it's funny you said that because there is a saying overseas that says two people don't learn, the stubborn and the lazy.
Yeah.
So the lazy will not learn, and the stubborn thinks that I already know. You can teach me. I have a degree in this and
Right.
that, and then you can't help them. But unfortunately, we would really love to help people. And just if you're one of these people and you're listening, I'm not saying there is anything wrong with you. That's great that you have your degree. That's great that you can make great illustrations. Just figure out what other aspects outside of your expertise that you can improve on, and try to go after those aspects. And that should really help you.
Yes. And I would also add, just don't be afraid to try something a little out of your, always be learning some new design skill or some new thing or whatever. Like just keep staying fresh and keep learning, because it is one of those things where it's almost a detriment to be an expert, because it's so hard to keep learning when you feel like you already know everything. But anyway, Mario has a comment. Thank you guys all for watching. Everybody's saying comments. Helen, what you just said about improving constantly reminds me of something I say all the time. The biggest room I've got is the room for improvement. Oh, I love that.
Oh, that's nice.
Mario, I think I met before I even started Merch Money. I think he went to a green room event a long time ago. So thank you, Mario, for watching. All right. So you're awesome. Everybody's already loving everything you're saying. What's another thing you see?
Okay, I'm sorry. I just answered Tracy on the road real quick. She said,
"Oh yeah,
what year did you start Merch, Samir? 2017.
2017. Okay.
Yes. So the other thing that I wanted to say is that a lot of people feel like they're in this disadvantage when they're in the lower tiers, and they're not only in a disadvantage. They have the advantage on some other fields that they don't realize that they have the field on. That they have the advantage on. And one of the most important advantages that they have is the advantage of time. And the reason I say that, people will say, well, I work 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 or whatever. Some people in higher tiers, very high tiers, still work 9 to 5 and whatever, and they're still doing whatever they're doing. So that excuse goes for both sides. Now, the reason I say you have the advantage of time is because when somebody in 100K tier or 80K tier or whatever is uploading for St. Patrick's Day, and he's trying to really dominate that niche, and he's uploading tons of designs, and he doesn't have the time to be so meticulous and so picky about every design he's going to upload. If you only have 10 slots, you can make them you can upload 10 Mona Lisas to your tier. So you have the advantage. You can sit down on Photoshop, take your time, and bring your best effort and upload it to Merch by Amazon. That people in the higher tiers don't have that advantage. And also, people in higher tiers don't have the time don't have as much time. I mean, everyone has the time. Don't have as much time to go back and learn some new Photoshop or Illustrator techniques, or they're too busy. Sometimes they have VAs, they have this, they have files waiting to be uploaded, they have this, they have campaigns, they gotta watch their campaigns, they gotta watch this. You don't have any of that. You just have 10 designs and a big guy holding a fishing rod on your 30 merch. So you have all the time in the world. You can go to Photoshop, you can go to YouTube and type in any effect you want to learn. You can take your time and go read an article about the best fonts suitable for t-shirts. You have time to go read about what's trending. You have time to go to social media and find out. You have time to listen to the news and find out something silly that Trump said or somebody else said. And you can take your time and design. People in the higher tiers, don't have as much time as you do. And
Yeah.
this is part of the reason why everybody is under the misconception that, okay, if I'm on tier 100 and I made $50, that means if I go up to tier 1000, I'm going to make $500. They keep multiplying by 10. And then everyone, I would challenge to say that everyone in this case find out that this is not true.
Hmm.
In tier 1000, you're not going to sell 10 times what you used to sell in tier 100 unless you score a winner, and there will be a shirt that did it for you. There will be a
Well, I
shirt
think
that,
there's a couple ways. I totally see where you're going, and I totally agree with that. I think the only way that it does work that way is if you stay hungry and you stay learning and you stay trying. Like, I think a lot of times we get complacent because we're like, oh, that shirt's doing well, so I'm just going to keep uploading the same thing, and we're not learning the new skills. We're not learning the new thing. Or we're just uploading the same thing to all the products, which, not all the products are going to sell as well as a t-shirt. So once you start getting to higher tiers, you're uploading, to so many products that you can't really multiply it because, I don't know, a long sleeve shirt is not going to sell as well as a t-shirt.
no, exactly. And
Yeah.
that's a good point you brought. Thank you. I forgot about that. I had that in mind, and I forgot about that. Also, we all know that the best selling category is the standard t-shirt.
Mhm.
The guy in tier 60K or 80K, in order to keep up with those slots and keep filling, keep tearing up, he's hitting submit and uploading 20 designs at the time. He's uploading
Right.
to anything and everything just
Yeah.
because he's trying to fill those slots.
Yeah.
And now the guy uploading to a zip hoodie and a raglan, however it's pronounced, and to
Raglan, speaking of which.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
wearing
that's
one.
cool. I like that. So the guy uploading to all those products is he's going for a lower success rate than if he was uploading to just t-shirts.
Yeah.
Now you in the tier 10 or 25 or 100 uploading just t-shirts, you're going with a lot better success rate than he's going for. So it is to your advantage. So there is an advantage in the lower tiers, and this is your chance to learn the trade, because this will hurt you if you don't learn the trade in the beginning. When you're still, think of yourself as the 40-year-old infant. You know how it's easier for children to pick up new skills and learn than when you get older. You can pick up tennis, you can pick up golf, you can pick up, and it's true. It's true. When I golf, if I didn't learn that when I was a kid, so my left arm bends when I take the backswing. It's just not a skill or a motor function that I grew up with. So you have the time. You just signed up. You just got accepted for Merch by Amazon. Learn your skill. Learn your trade. And this is going to take me to a different point, which is, if you do not learn your trade, how can you later judge what a good design is if you don't know yourself what a good design is? And meaning, a lot of people will make, this is another mistake, so I'll make them two in one point. They will outsource too early before they learn the trade. So when they outsource too early before they know the trade, and I'll tell you this, anyone that's new to Merch by Amazon, they can get somebody on Fiverr that's going to start popping some stuff to them and just sending them all these files. Okay, it's $5 a piece. Go ahead, knock yourself out. And also, when he opens them up and he looks at them and he sees the transparent background and stuff, it looks like, wow, it's a cool design. But if he knew his trade, he would say, this is mediocre. This is not a good design. So in order for you to advance into this business, you have to learn your trade in the beginning. Even if you don't plan on designing yourself, it will help you to know what you're doing, so you can judge how your VAs and designers are doing for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's big right there. Everybody knows I did not do that. I was doing FBA, so I was buying designs in the beginning and not even focusing on merch at all. So I just kept uploading until I got to tier 2K. And then I started taking merch more seriously and learning it myself and all of that. So there's different ways to do it, but I had to pretty much start as if I was on tier 10, even though I was on tier 2000, because I had to learn, like, okay, how do you do a design? How do you do this? Like, you know, and it's better if you can just learn it from the beginning, just in case you don't accidentally upload something that's trademarked or upload just, you know, bad designs and get discouraged because you're not tearing up fast enough. So regardless of how you do it, you got to learn it at some point, because otherwise you're going to spend too much on designs. You're not going to know what's good.
And also you made a good point too, because not only, I mean, learning the trade is not limited to just learning how to design. It's learning all the aspects of the trade. For example, if a designer, if I hire a designer now and he tries to send me something that is copyrighted or a stolen picture or something, I will be able to catch him. But I bet you if he sends it to somebody that's just starting, that person is not going to catch that.
Right.
They can totally just rip off a design from Amazon, totally just copy it and remove the background and send it to him, and he's going to think, wow, this is great. Right. And they will get you terminated. And and Amazon does not care, because Amazon is not even encouraging you to outsource. They're actually discouraging you from outsource. Actually, they tell you that they want you to do the work, because when you made the application, you didn't tell them you were an outsourcer. I'm pretty sure you wrote that you were a designer. So they expect you to design, but they're closing their eyes on it because they know a lot of people are designing, and they know a lot of people have taken it to a professional level where they need the help. Just don't move to that level when you're not ready for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Merch does a good job of having you do these tiers, which a lot of other sites don't have, because it kind of protects you. Like, you're not going to get, you know, make a huge mistake and upload like 1,000 shirts that are wrong, because you only have 10 to start with. So it really helps you kind of learn. And if you're not selling those, it means you haven't learned enough yet. Like, you got to keep learning. Yeah.
A lot of people
all very good points.
A lot of people don't realize the blessing of Amazon doing what they do. A lot of people don't like some decisions taken by merch by Amazon and why they've taken them. And to your point, if it was no tiers and it was no regulation about this,
and just
imagine that you're sitting there. It took you so many years to get your library of designs up there. You baby them one at a time, meticulous work and all this, and then all of a sudden somebody just joins from Singapore or from Cambodia or I don't know what, and then like few days later they have 20,000 designs on merch by Amazon. So the only thing that's protecting you from this happening is because merch doesn't allow them to do automation, and merch is limiting them to tier 10.
Yes.
So they come around, they go like, okay, it's going to take me a while to leave this tier 10 for 25. So the juice is not worth the squeeze.
Oh, I like everybody's comment. First of all, thank you, Mario. He wrote a nice comment. And then I like this comment too. The point is also relevant to file management as well. The lower tiers should pay attention to good production and file archiving habits as well. Develop these good habits early. I totally agree. Just, focusing on the habits and building systems. And I don't think you have to stop at 10. This is something I always tell people. Just because you can only upload 10 doesn't mean you have to stop designing. You can keep designing because it's good practice to keep practicing. You can either upload them as drafts or you can just save them in a file or whatever, but you can keep learning. You can prepare for the next holiday coming up. So many people just sit there and they stare at their 10 designs up and they do nothing until it finally gets to 25. And then they're like scrambling. They don't have the designs ready to go to upload. And the same with all the other tiers. You know, you hear people saying like, you know, they've been stuck in tier 500 forever. And then they tier up to 1,000 and they don't have any designs ready to upload.
Yes, that is true. And it's a little bit challenging in the beginning to advance in the tiers. The reason why, because if you think about it, when you're in tier 10, you need to sell 100% of your tier to move on to tier 25. And then in tier 25, because you already sold 10, you need to sell 15 more. Now you need to sell about 60% 100% of your tier to move on to the next tier, and it keeps getting easier as you climb up until
Right.
you get to now tier 10,000, and then you have to sell 100% of your tier again to tier up
Yeah.
to 20,000,
But
and
it
then you
gets
get
easier and easier because it's not like every single design has to sell. Like if you have one design that sells really well, that could be enough to tear you up. It just gets easier and easier as you go because you have more and more. Like if you're getting better and learning and uploading good designs, you have more and more chances to have them sell.
yes. And for the design quality, I think I had shared this point before. I was watching a video. I follow this artist. His name is Andrew Tischler. He's from
Oh,
Australia and he lives in New Zealand. He does oil painting.
nice.
Really amazing artist. I recommend if somebody likes art and likes to. And in one video, he was talking about art galleries.
Mm.
So in an art gallery, they have basically walls where they hang art, and there are a lot of aspiring artists that wants to take their art and convince the director of that art gallery to actually hang their art on their walls.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone complains how picky the art galleries are about what art are they taking in, because when they hang it there, they're gonna put a price for it, they're gonna sell it, and they're gonna take a commission, and they're gonna give you the money. So as an artist, you're trying to get your art into galleries,
Mm-hmm.
and especially renowned galleries that are going to they have a good reputation, and people go there for shopping for quality art. And when you think about it, those galleries, if they have enough room to hang, for example, 100 pictures or paintings, that gallery is in tier 100,
Mm-hmm.
and they're only accepting the best art to be hung on their walls.
Yep.
Are you as picky as a gallery director about your tier 100, or are you just hanging whatever and wondering why it didn't sell? Are you trying to bring new concepts that are attractive and better to a good selling niche? And this is when I talked to Neil uh, last video. A lot of people miss this point. Like if you're looking at Merchant Foreigner, you are looking to see what trends are selling. If you're looking to see what designs are selling, you totally missed the point. You're trying to find what trends and what niches are selling. And then once you pinpoint those niches, you write them down on a piece of paper or on your phone or on a notepad or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then you decide what concepts and what designs can I bring to these niches that are going to look better than what's out there, or at least as good but different than what's out there, because you want to stand out. If you go to an art gallery and take them a copy of something they have on their wall, they're going to say, what are you doing? No, we don't want this. We don't do copies. We want something original, something that our customers haven't seen before.
I
And
love that.
unfortunately, yes, unfortunately, it's a problem right now on Amazon, because if you search for, especially in trends, you find the same quote over and over and over and over and over again. 1 page, 2 pages, 3 pages, 4 pages of it. And this brings me to the next mistake that the newbies make. You know, when you search for something on Amazon, Amazon will tell you 327 results, and you think, okay, this is an accessible niche. But then when you get to page 4 or 5, now it says over 5,000. So it helps to know this in advance, but this is not the extent of the problem. If your intention to copy that shirt that you saw with an 8K BSR, and you're gonna make it slightly different and you're gonna put it up there, well, guess what? I got news for you. There are 11,500 people that had the same idea, and they just did the same exact thing.
Yeah.
And they are making what Amazon is calling more than 5,000 results. So all those hopefuls
just get pushed to the back.
And a lot of them are wondering, like, wow, I can't believe that my design looks just as good or better than the one that's with the 8K BSR. What's wrong with these customers? You know what's wrong with the customers? They never saw your design. It's going to sit there and it's going to go through a rotation. And by the time the customer get to see it, it will be 4th of July. And he's trying to see your Shamrock St. Patrick's Day shirt.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. So if you have something original and your keywords are different, everyone trying to copy people's keywords. If you're competing for the same exact keywords, you just entered a long rotation that you're going to get out of, or you're going to be displayed in 4th of July for a St. Patrick's Day shirt. So try to be original, try to bring new keywords, and something that is, when I say new, it has to be related to that design. Just make it your style. Try to be a little different. Just I don't know.
I love your analogy of the art gallery. Like there's only going to be 100 paintings in the art gallery, and you're trying to get your one in there. That's how we should think about our portfolios. Like, is this good enough to go on the art gallery wall? Like, obviously, if you're just copying someone or changing something slightly, it's not good enough. So
yes, exactly.
Yeah, you got to always be thinking like that. Like, would you be proud to show this to your friends and family? Like, so.
Yeah. So I said, when I said different keywords, like sometimes just, for example, let's take St. Patrick's Day.
Mm-hmm.
St. Patrick's Day is everyone's typing St. Patrick's Day, some with apostrophe, some without apostrophe. Some people are figuring, okay, there is a small percentage of people that are going to search for St. Patty's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So maybe if I have St. Patty's Day in the front of my title, where we believe, everyone believes, or most people believe, the front of the title carries more weight than the back of it, and the whole title carries more weight than the bullets. Maybe if you have St. Patty's Day in your title, in the front of your title, you're going to compete for a less searched for term, but it is searched for enough considering the volume that St. Patrick's Day gets on Amazon. And then even St. Patty's Day. Now, is it spelled Patty apostrophe S or Paddy apostrophe?
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of what the correct answer is, customers search for both. Customers search for both. So do you rather be a big fish in a small pond or a small fish in a big pond? Or actually, small fish is an exaggeration, because in a big pond you will be a molecule.
Yeah. Well, we got a question for you from Ian.
Sure.
He is asking, do you have any advice for higher tiers in regard to selling annual trends? Do you have more success with big holidays, or do you do better with secondary annual events?
Okay. For the big annual trends, here is how I see it. I try to find a different angle than everyone else is trying to enter that trend. I try to have a different strategy than, I wouldn't say everyone else, but than most people. And this is what you should be doing in the higher tiers. When you go up to design, first get the idea of what you want to do, make one good concept. And now your time is money. Now time is very valuable for you, as opposed to the guy in tier 10 or tier 25. So you're trying to move on because you're trying to fill up those slots. So after you make that concept, you have to figure out what concept can you got to figure out what concept can I make that I can change one element and make a totally different design. Okay. For example, if you made a design that says some graphic, I don't know, shamrock or whatever, and it says the luckiest something ever. Now that design, you can make it into a luckiest mom ever, luckiest dad ever, luckiest grandpa ever, luckiest. So it's not just text, It should be a whole concept, a whole design with different elements and stuff, and only one layer. You know how you're working with different layers? Only one layer is going to change. Uh, Same thing, even outside of trends. If you can do that with professions, you can do that with dogs, cats, whole kinds of different things where you can change one element and make different designs. So that was the long answer. The short answer is to try to figure out what can I make good, then scale it to
Mhm.
a whole lot of designs, and then upload it to Amazon.
Great answer. And
Thank you.
Dwayne keeps saying creativity. Yes, Dwayne. That is definitely something to focus on. Oh man, we could talk to you all night. So many good things. What we've almost hit an hour already. It feels like we just started.
Oh wow!
Can you believe that?
No, I didn't feel like an hour. Wow.
Don't worry, I won't rush you. But what before we go into more mistakes, what is something like that you really want to make sure people know, before we forget, before the show ends? What is something that you think has either helped you the most in your merch thing or in your more I don't know. I'm getting tired. I can't even get out words
Yes.
right.
No.
Your merch career, I guess you could say.
Yeah. I
What
see
is
your
something
point.
that you want to make sure that people know?
I see your point. Yes. What I believe has helped me and continues to help me every day is the techniques that I picked up uh, for designing, and it will start from anything basic: how to apply a grunge to a design, how to, for example, do a clipping mask, something as simple as a clipping mask,
Yes.
where you write some text, apply some clipping mask to it. For example, write Florida and get a picture of a sunset, place it on it, and all of a sudden you have Florida text that has the image of a clipping mask.
Yeah.
So
And guys, if you type in clipping mask in the Facebook group, there's ways to search in the Facebook group. So that's something else to learn too. You can search for something within a group. You can search for clipping mask and you'll see a lot of posts explaining how to do that. I remember I did one post. I used to do a tip of the day, and one of my tips of the day was clipping mask. And it tells you how to do it in different programs and different things. So, but yes, good, very good point.
yes. So the point I was trying to make is that if you pick up one technique, just one technique a week, and apply it to a bunch of different designs, that technique alone is going to open up like a big ocean of ideas for designing. And I could not tell you the number of times where I got the idea of what I want to design for, just the niche or the trend in general, and I just go on Photoshop and just uh, thinking of an effect that I want to use gives me the idea of the concept that I want to make.
I love
So
that.
it's like almost like a backward analogy where you start from, and you can do this with different things. Like you can
Mhm.
if you make an illustration, or if you just get a piece of clip art from some subscription or some free website or whatever. Sometimes just that clip art. We played this game before. I posted this post where I made I posted two images, two clip art pieces, and I asked people. I said, "Okay, just caption these.
Oh,
Just
I like that.
a caption for them, and that caption is your quote that you can put on a T-shirt."
I
And
love
I remember people came up with a lot of funny ideas for how to caption those those images, and almost every single one of them could sell as a T-shirt. So you would just take that image with that caption, put them together in a nice concept. The concept is everything, uh, and the concept will include your layout, your font that you used, the way you treated your font. And this is something else I want to say: is your font is only your raw material. When you buy a font, if you guys notice, when you go buy a font, it looks so attractive the way they make it on the website look. And then you go buy it and you go on Photoshop and you start typing and it looks like garbage. You say, wow, they tricked me. No, they didn't trick you. That was the raw material you saw when you opened it up on Photoshop. So if you know how to apply all the effects they applied to it when they were selling it to you, you will make it look just as good or maybe even better than they did. So if you're just using the fonts the way you buy them, tell yourself that you are working with just the raw material. You're not doing anything to it. And there is a lot of things you can do to a font to make it stand out and look better.
I love that. Oh my gosh, Samir, I am so glad that you are on the show.
Oh, thank you.
I love that concept, guys. You're working with the raw material. Same thing with the clip art. You're working with the raw material. So there's so much you could do with it. You don't have to keep it like that. And I wanted to say another thing about the clipping mask. Every time you learn a new skill, like, so that was the example, you learn how to do clipping masks. And I think you already said this, but I just want to reiterate it. Once you learn that skill, look at your designs that are selling well. You might have a design that's selling really well and you have it just basic font, really simple. Maybe try it with the clipping mask. Maybe it'll be another version that you can upload that's a little different. So I think definitely when you learn new things, go back to your old designs and see if maybe you can upload a variation now that you know this new trick or this new whatever skill.
Yes, definitely. Sometimes you're searching for a piece of clip art, like you said, Helen,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't find what you exactly had in mind, but you find something different.
Mm-hmm.
If you know your way around Photoshop, you can take just a close enough clip art to what you wanted.
Yeah.
Take it to Photoshop and transform it a little bit, and you can make exactly what you want out of that piece of clip art that you got.
Mm-hmm.
Using the effects, sometimes you don't even need a font. You don't even need a font. Uh, uh, here's what I mean. Like, I have this one design. What I had the idea of what I wanted to do was I went to looking for some kind of pixelated like type of Atari game or Game Boy, the old Game Boy, those little square pixels.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was looking for, and I didn't like anything. So what I did is I just found a piece of an image that was free for reuse. So I took that image, and it was made like of pixelated.
Mm-hmm.
So I took a rectangular block, and I needed to make 12 different letters. So I took that rectangular block, and I just started deleting from it. I made 12 different copies of it, and I started deleting from it, and I made different letters, and then I just to move them all together. And the funny thing, at the end result, it looked like it was some kind of retro pixelated font. At the time that it wasn't, it was just a rectangle that I started with that was made out of these square pixels.
Wow.
So you can do that.
You're like Michelangelo. Finding the art. Well, like you have the block and you're like chipping away.
So yeah, you can do that. I mean, there are so many things. And then once, if I wanted to, I didn't do it, but if I wanted to, I could have made the whole alphabet and I could save them. You know what I mean? Yeah. I could have saved them, and then I could have reused them in the thing. And then the other thing, like you said, you keep getting different ideas when you're designing. Like you said, you add the clipping mask and it changes into something else.
Mm-hmm.
I promise you, sometimes I have to pull myself out of the chair and say, okay, enough, because I go make one design, and then I look at it and I say, well, hold on, if I do this to it and I do this and I do that, it's gonna be different. Then I do that, and then I see something else. And I keep milking it and milking it and milking it until I end up saving like 5-6 different designs. And then I say, okay, enough. We got to move on to the next idea. So there is so much you can do if you just learn a few different tricks with Photoshop or Illustrator, whatever design tool that you're using.
Love it. All right. We have several questions. Let's see. Dwayne is asking, What are some successful design techniques that sell really well with merch?
Okay, what are some different design techniques that sell really well with merch? Okay,
I would say pretty much
there
a
is an
lot.
article that I was looking. So uh, it, I couldn't say with merch in general, but it will be different from one niche to another. Like for example, you could not take retro and apply it to everything, or take
Although people try.
yeah, or take that sunset effect. I forgot it
Yeah.
has a name. It has a name, a word that I never heard before until I heard it. If you take that sunset effect and apply it to everything, you can have a sunset with the breast cancer awareness ribbon in the middle of it. That just doesn't go together. But you have the retro, you have the uh,
Left
left
line.
aligned
Hmm.
text, with the period after each word, like
Yep.
to make statements. You have the different ways of doing a grunge, because making a design distress doesn't have to just have some missing holes in the design. There is different ways of making a grunge to make your design stand out from the rest, and it gives it whatever effect you want, and whatever effect you apply to it will be different for each different niche. For example, if you're doing a basketball uh, themed design, and you have some text with some big bulky letters, if the letters are kind of orangish brown and the grunge effect is kind of looking like, I don't even know what to call it, that pimply thing that are on the basketball,
Mm-hmm.
or that texture that's on the basketball,
Yeah.
you make that appear on your text
Hmm.
with some of the lines or whatever. Then it makes it look like it's uh, very much theme focused.
Yeah. I think
And
that's a good point to remind people. Like, make sure your text applies to the type of design you're doing. So there's lots of ways you can do that. Like, if it's like some kind of, I don't know, shirt that you want that's, uh, man, I am not getting words out correctly, but something like maybe you
you
want
must
a
be
script
tired. This is
font.
your second life.
You want a script font, or you got to think about what the fonts are with what type of design you're doing. And I love that idea. Like if it's sports related or if it's something like that, you can add the texture to the words, or you can add like flowers inside the text. I mean, there's so many things you can do depending on what the shirt's about. So the font should definitely relate to what your niche is.
Yes, definitely. So, and the other thing is to just make sure that all your elements match up. Like sometimes you might use more than one clip art, and one of the clip art is like supposed to be basic, and the other one is supposed to be advanced, and then you put them together,
It
and they
doesn't.
just don't look well together, because people will catch that it just doesn't balance together, doesn't look well together. And also, not every technique that you're going to learn on Photoshop is applicable for a t-shirt printing, and that's why.
And real quick before you keep going, along those lines of like not all clip art looks good together, a lot of sites you can follow the artist specifically. So I know with Creative Fabrica, that's the one I use, you can follow artists. So if you're looking for something, let's say you have one clip art and you want to add something, you have another idea but you don't think your two different clip arts match each other, you can go find that artist and see maybe they did do another clip art bundle or something that does match what you're looking for. So you can follow artists.
Yes, exactly. You can. There is a font that I found, and first time I did that I liked, and it said you needed the permission. And I always, anytime I see you need a permission, I just step out. And then one time I decided, you know what? Let me get this permission. I found the guy, and I contacted him on Messenger, and it was like hopeless. I didn't figure even he's gonna answer me, because you only see messages from your friends and stuff.
Right.
And he replied to me. He said, yes, you are. I'm giving you my consent to use my font. You're welcome to use it. Just think about making a donation if you do make some money with my font. And I was
Aw.
like, wow, it was like really a pleasant surprise, because so you can do that. You can contact the artist and you can ask and stuff
That's a
like
whole
that.
nother thing you could do. Contact the artist and ask if they don't have what you're looking for. Be like, can you by any chance make some clip art in this niche? Yeah, I think definitely ask. That's what I've learned in the last couple years. I always ask for everything and just see what happens. So I asked Samir if he wants to be on the show, and he says yes. You just never know.
Yes, I love your show. I love all the information that I get from all your guests and yourself and Christina, and I'm like really happy. I feel like it's an honor to be here and to be able to give back a fraction of what I picked up from you guys.
Oh, thank you so much. And thank you, Teresa. She did a comment that I almost said Michael Essany instead of Michelangelo. So that was funny.
Oh.
I probably did. And then Ian had one more question, and then we'll probably wrap up. Let's see. Ian, sorry, we're gonna get covered. Ian says, I am having early success with a series of designs that will have their selling season in 2 months from now. My problem is I have several very strong designs listed, but only 2 of them are selling. How do I bring attention to the other designs?
Well, there is no problem. There is no problem there. The reason I'm telling you there is no problem is because when you're in tier, when you're in a lower tier,
he's in I think he's 4,000, I think, ish, somewhere around there.
Okay. Yeah. No. I was just trying to make the point, like in general, when you're in the lower tier, you have to try so many designs before you get some of them to sell, because there are millions of shirts on Amazon. So you're just starting fresh. You're testing your trial and error route. You just started it freshly. When you look at someone who's in tier, I don't know, 50K, 60K, and they have a whole bunch of designs that are selling, remember that before they got to have that many designs that are selling, they went through a lot of designs that didn't sell. Actually, the majority of their designs didn't sell. And I'm talking about the lifetime of the account. And we can also look at it from the perspective of one day, like one slice of the time frame. When you see somebody posting their sales and they had 100 sales today, then and you see their tier, or like for example, they're in tier 50K, you tell yourself, well, I guess they had 49,900 shirts that didn't sell today. So
that's a very good point.
Yes. So nobody holds that secret formula, because if they had that secret formula, that fail-proof formula that's going to work every single time, believe me, they're going to apply it to the other 49,900 shirts that didn't sell today. Okay, so don't be harsh on yourself if that happens. The best you can do is to just give your designs enough chance. If you believe in them and they get taken down, then try to update your keywords. And here, you know what? I don't know if I should make this point or not, because I'm afraid it's gonna get taken the wrong way. But anyway, I'll let you be the judge, guys, and try
It's fine.
Try to be good. If you have a design that's not selling and you believe your design is good, then go back to the niche. See the designs that are actually selling in that niche. Go through their listings and read through their keywords, and then compare with yours and see how their SEO compares to yours. I'm not saying even if you don't take a single word from their upload, but just see how their SEO compares to yours. See how they're using their most valuable keywords. What are they? Are they placed in the title? How long are their titles? How long are their bullets? How are their bullets written? Like for example, if you're writing a bullet and you want to use 5 different keywords in those bullets, how can you write that bullet in a way where those where you can use all those keywords into a sentence that makes sense, something that is easy to read and understand by the buyer without them having to read some strange broken English that doesn't make any sense, and how you get to place those keywords based on their importance, which ones are going to be in the front of your bullets, which ones are going to be in the back of your bullets. What mistakes are you making? Did you waste your title typing in t-shirt, and all different variations instead of focusing on the keywords that are going to sell your shirt? So it does help to just go and see what those people are doing. There are people that are doing it the wrong way and they're still selling, but you guys remember a couple of times we had Amazon make some changes and then they give you 30 days to fix that problem, because it didn't used to be a problem, but now after the update it became a problem, and they give you a chance to update your listings. And you say, oh my God, how am I going to remove this word or whatever from
gosh, that was no fun.
Yes. So yes.
I was just going to say, before we forget Ian's question, I wanted to say and see if you agree or disagree, but how I would answer this question is he's asking, let's see, basically asking like 2 of them sold, why aren't the other ones selling? That's what I kind of get from the question. Or what's the problem with why the other ones aren't selling? I would just say, what's helped me the most is don't ask that question. The question to ask is, why are these selling and what can I do that's like the ones that are selling? Like, focus all of your attention on what is selling and don't even worry about what's not selling. Just keep looking at what's selling and try to learn from that. Like, why is it selling? How can I replicate this? And at the very basic level, a lot of times if I have something selling well and I did it in white font on a dark design, I do the reverse and I do dark font on a white design. And just that one simple thing, the likelihood of that shirt selling versus doing a brand new design that's not tested yet is so much higher. Like, if the first design is selling, almost always just the reverse sells too. So just things like that. Like, I focus most of my attention on what is working and just don't worry about what's not working. Like, because if you're looking at what's not working, it's just putting your mind in the wrong place. What do you think about that, Samir?
Yes, definitely. I apologize. I misheard this question in the beginning, but I'll tell you, like Helen said, not to focus on that, but let's break it down and see what happens. So let's say I uploaded design A and design B, and then in the search result there is the whole rest of the alphabet, and then because there is 5,000 results, there is A1, A2, A3, A2, A5, whatever, and same thing for the rest of the alphabet. So now let's say you have design A that sold and design B that didn't sell. We agree that there is a rotation for shirts, that Amazon, if you upload a shirt and you look today, you're not going to find it. You look next week, you don't find it. And then randomly one time you look and you find it at page 9, okay? Or page 7 or whatever. So that proves that there is a rotation, that shirts are going through the rotation. And here is how is the shirts rank? How would the shirts logically rank? We don't know Amazon's algorithm, but let's use the logic to figure out how the shirts would logically rank. So let's say they showed shirt A in the rotation, and shirt A was met by, on the other hand, there is warm traffic, cold traffic, friendly fire, what I call them, which is just other merchants searching through the results. And Amazon is showing them your shirt thinking that they're buyers. They have zero intention to buy. So that's just friendly fire. Those people might click on your ads too and cost you money. So I wouldn't even count those. And now there is the cold traffic, someone who's just searching for some broad term, and your shirt happened to be one of the results that popped in front of them, even if it's not 100% related to what he's searching for. And now there is the warm traffic, and the warm traffic or the hot traffic, you can categorize it, is somebody who's on Amazon searching for exactly your type of shirt, which you have A1 and A2. And with your luck, when your shirt was displayed, it came, one of those impressions that you would see is anytime your design is actually seen, when they scroll, it's seen.
Yeah.
Your design was met with that guy, let's call him Jackson from Warm Traffic, and he saw your design and he bought it.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that he clicked on it gave you some uh, algorithm score. The
Mm-hmm.
fact that he bought it gave you even more score in that algorithm.
Yeah.
Now, with the other shirt, it could be a better design. A2 could be a better design than A1. That design was shown the first time. The first
Mm-hmm.
time it was shown to a mercer. The second time it was shown to a mercer. It's a good design. The third time it was shown to a cold
Yeah.
traffic. The fourth time it was shown to a warm traffic, but the guy maybe preferred, it was a girl and she preferred the one next to it that had some pink elements and stuff to it or whatever.
And along those lines, you could, if your shirt hasn't sold in 3 or 4 weeks or a month or whatever, you can try just taking it down and re-uploading it, because then it'll have that boost of being a new shirt. And just try it one more time and see if it's that case where just it got shown to the wrong people who were not ready to buy yet, and just give it a second chance. But I think it's good to look at your designs from the angle of what's working. And try not to find what's not working, because you don't want to be focusing on what's wrong. So, well, thank you guys. Everybody stayed the whole time. So I was looking at the numbers to see if people would start dropping off, and nobody's dropping off. So they really enjoyed you talking, Samir. Thank you.
I'm really excited to see everyone, and I'm really excited to be here. I hope I made my point. So
I think
so. Basically, it's there is some luck to it.
Yeah.
If your shirt was shown at the right time, those impressions that you see in AMS happened at the right time in front of the right people, and they bought it and they scored points for you repeatedly. Okay.
Mhm.
And when I say successful, it doesn't mean that every customer bought it. It means
Right.
that if 100 times they showed it, 2 people bought. That is
Right.
better than the next guy who's 100 times nobody bought, or
Mhm.
1,000 times one person bought. And that's how what's going to tell the algorithm to take your shirt from page 9 on the rotation and place it on page 2 on the rotation. And maybe down the road, they're going to decide that this shirt in page 2 is scoring well according to the guidelines of page 2. He's still scoring well. It's going to maybe move on to page 1 or live on page 1. There are some shirts that don't do the rotation anymore. They were just granted a spot on page 1. So you search, for example, for a St. Patrick's Day shirt, and you would see that shirt living there. It's always there, low BSR. That means that shirt has proved made its validity, and it's going to sit there. So
This is my dad, everybody.
Oh, hello.
He likes my comment. That's what dads are good to like your comments. Thank you, Dad.
That's nice of your dad.
Everybody's saying thank you. They're saying thanks for staying longer. Wonderful show, all this stuff. Oh, we forgot to mention your Facebook group. You have a Facebook group. Tell them about your Facebook group. I didn't know. I just joined like a couple days ago.
Yes, I do. It's called Merch by Amazon Public School,
and it's linked in the description, guys.
Yes, and it's funny. There is a reason behind that name. The reason behind that name is I was trying to find a way to freely help the community, and I was trying to do it 100% free. So that's the reason why it's public school, because in a public school you don't pay. In a private school you pay, and there is nothing wrong with paying. If somebody's offering you something that's going to help you, and they want to get paid for their time, there is nothing wrong with that, as long as they're selling you something that they know works and something that is valid, and they're not just going to take your money and sell you a dream.
Perfect. Well, guys, definitely join his group. You can see his knowledge and enthusiasm and all of that. So thank you so much, everybody in the chat. Thank you, Samir.
Thank you, Helen. Thank you, everyone who stayed with us. Thank you, everyone who's going to watch the video later.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say for those that are not subscribed to Helen's channel, I said it before, I'll repeat it. Helen does a great job bringing in all kinds of guests that have different expertise and that are going to help you on your merch journey. Subscribe to that channel. put on your earphones, play the videos one after another while you're working. Listen to them in the background, just like a podcast. And these videos, they're mostly talk shows. So even if you can't see them, even if you just play them in the background and listen to your earphones, you're still going to pull a lot of value.
Mm-hmm.
And I highly recommend you subscribe to Helen's channel.
Oh, thanks so much. And we do have a podcast version if you prefer that. We do have it. So it's available. So, well, thank you so much, Samir. Thank you for staying 20 minutes longer.
Oh, you're very welcome.
I hope you have a wonderful night. And thank you, everybody in the chat. We will see you Wednesday.
Thank you. You as well.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.